Hello guys, and of course by now you are probably not surprised and shocked to see a new video being posted by me or on a semi-regular basis. And well, here we go. Obviously King of the Hill gameplay, you know, all that jazz. So an interesting side hobby of mine, actually it's a pretty big hobby of mine, devoted thousands of hours to it, is writing, and I love to write. And so I'm just sort of wondering, it's a cursory poll here, would you guys actually be interested in having a commentary which is also a short story? Or include a couple of short stories in my commentaries every once in a while. I'm just wondering if that'd be something you guys would be interested in. For an example, I will read a very short story of mine. So here we go. Alright, so this is a short story that I wrote for a contest, and the rules required us to write a story that told the events preceding a picture, and the picture was a knight being knighted by a kingly figure with an adoring princess standing by. And it was also sort of a tale of a presumably vanquished dragon curling into the picture. So, now I present the trials of courtship. And the kingdom of Arvid has a princess who is just about the right age, Scalfern said in her gravelly alto voice. She had been droning on about eligible princesses for a full hour, while Dalskar did his best to look very attentive. I don't know, Mother, Dalskar replied evasively. I don't think I've quite grown to my full size yet. Nonsense, Scalfern snorted with impatience, blowing a puff of orange fire into her son's face. You are larger than both your brothers, both of whom, I may remind you, have already captured princesses and lined their lairs with rows of scorched armor. Dalskar let out the beginnings of a sigh, but cut it short as his mother's amber eye turned on a dangerous shade of red. You're a disappointment, Dalskar, she said, bearing down on him with his terrible eyes. No dragoness will ever consider courting you if you have no trophies of valor in your lair. You are large, and that is fine, but if you do not capture a princess and overcome the avenging knights, they will begin to think you are a frightened rabbit with scales. I'm not frightened, Dalskar retorted, but without real conviction. Hadn't he just cowered before his mother, who was half his size? Then get out there and prove it. The rising sun peered over the heights of the mountains to find Dalskar flying towards the kingdom of Arvid. If one was facing 100 battle-hardened knights, only to avoid facing your own mother in a bad mood, was that courage or cowardice? Dalskar wondered absently, as the sun warmed his wings and illuminated a flower-speckled canvas of green beneath his rushing shadow. Oh well, whatever his motives, he was committed, and presumably no dragonesses would know the difference. Now he just had to find a princess. Following his reptilian instincts, he veered towards the castle with its high turrets and gaily colored flags, scanning the fields with his keen eyes. Princesses had a weakness for frolicking in the flowers on beautiful spring mornings. And there! A group of maidens caught his eye. They held baskets of flowers and were spinning joyfully in their bright spring dresses. They all looked up when his vast shadow covered their party. The circle of handmaidens surrounded the princess, screamed simultaneously in terror, before they wilted away, falling outward like the petals of a multicolored daisy. The princess gave a small squeak of fright as the massive talons closed around her waist. Then she drooped like a shred of pale blue silk over the horny scales of Dalskar's foot. It surprised Dalskar to find that he was a little sad to be dragging this delicate little creature away from her frolicking and happiness. But he was a dragon, and this was the way things were. Oh no! A shrill voice broke into Dalskar's meditation as he flew back towards his lair. A dragon has me! Oh no, I'm going to die. I just found love too. Oh pity, such a sadness. Alas, I'm such a fool. The princess's voice took on a self-reproachful tone as her monologue continued. Dancing in the flowers without any guards. Don't worry, Dalskar found himself saying soothingly as he swooped down towards the mountainside. Almost 90% of princesses are caught that way. The princess looked at him with surprise as he set her down the rough rocky shelf before his lair. You can talk? She asked. Of course I can talk, Dalskar said, a little offended. We dragons are very sophisticated. You call dragging away princesses sophisticated? It's not our fault you're so tasty, Dalskar replied. Tears welled up in the large blue eyes that looked at Dalskar in dismay. Other dragons, I mean. I don't think humans are tasty, he added quickly. He was discovering another female force that he was powerless against. He hadn't counted on her being so cursedly cute. Then why did you capture me? To impress dragonesses, you see. We need knights' armors for trophies. The princess's eyes watered anew and her delicate lips trembled. You mean you'll kill the knights who come to save me? Dalskar was taken aback. He would be firm. He needed the trophies. Well, I could only drive them off. Upon speaking, Dalskar found that his voice had switched sides, bewitched by the cuteness. Oh, and be gentle with William, please, the princess pleaded, reaching out her tiny warm hand and touching Dalskar's paw. He will kill himself trying to save me. Well, all knights look the same to me, Dalskar said, a little sulky and wary of his voice making further embarrassing promises. Oh, he's not a knight, her face reddened. He's just a page boy, but still I love him. Dalskar scowled down the mountainside as the day wore on. Now, his treacherous vocal cords had committed him to dealing gently with page boys, as well as only driving off knights. A distant jangle of armor heralded the arrival of the first rescuer, drawn by the promise of glory and the hand of the princess. A knight with a brilliant armor thundered up his path on his charger, giving a battle cry as he neared the dragon. Die, foul! Dalskar flicked him with a petulant foreclaw. Ah! Ow! Ooh! Ah! Ee! Ah! Loud metal clanks accompanied each cry of pain as the rescuer bounced down the rocky mountainside. Knights these days, they just weren't what they used to be. A score of them massed together for support, but fled in alarm when Dalskar had a sudden fiery sneezing fit. All save one. A small figure on foot fought his way through the fleeing knights and ran steadily up toward the dragon's lair. He had no armor or sword, and his maroon livery of the court was torn and stained from a day of running tirelessly to come to the aid of his princess. It was William. Dalskar knew, and here was courage indeed. His heart stirred with admiration of the young man's daring and devotion. William drew a knife and leaped forwards, dealing a determined stroke to Dalskar's toe. Dalskar was startled from his thoughts and curled his toe to flick the nuisance away. But then he remembered the princess and the bravery of this indomitable young man. He stiffened and crashed onto his side, giving his wings a convincing death shudder. William looked in stunned wonder from his knife to the mighty fallen dragon. The princess rushed into his arms with a cry of delight, wiping away the doubt. She cast a look back at Dalskar as they walked away, favoring him with a grateful smile. There goes William, to knighthood and both of them to wedded bliss, thought Dalskar kind-heartedly. Then he remembered he was playing dead and had no trophies whatsoever. It had been a fiasco. All the same, he was strangely happy. The thought of being stuck as a bachelor for life felt rather like a warm glow of contentment. The real trouble with dragonesses, he philosophically decided, was that they were all very like his mother. The end. There you guys go. I hope you liked it. And if you did, let me know, and I'll try to get more stories. And of course, wouldn't be something I'd be able to do every commentary, because stories take a long time to write, but it is something which I do as a hobby on the side, so whenever I get a new one done, I could include it in my commentary if you guys are so inclined and feel like it was worthwhile and fun to listen to. Because, you know, obviously what YouTube is, it is about making yourself happy, and writing makes me happy, and talking about random things, and having a sort of creative, unusual spin on things is what I enjoy doing. But at the same time, it's also to make you guys happy. You guys should really enjoy while listening to me, and that this should be time well spent for you. It needs to be something which you guys appreciate, and so just like I said, just let me know, because I don't want to waste tons of time writing stories and stuff and putting them into videos if you guys don't enjoy them at all. And on a side note, it is quite a bit of work, so if you guys do have a random urge to share, especially the story videos, if they become a regular thing, I would appreciate it, because, you know, it's fun to have more people exposed to it. So anyway, that's that, and as always, if you guys have topics which you want me to discuss, or heck, you could even do a request for a short story about a certain topic, and I would oblige you. It's a lot of fun to have sort of a creative parameter which you gotta work around, so you could have fun. And it's one of those things which just lets me have a bit of objective, and, you know, people are egotistical, and I'm definitely not the least of those. And you do appreciate having positive feedback and people, and it gives you motivation to keep producing stuff, because sometimes it's easy to just get bogged down in the run-of-the-mill of life and work, and just being exhausted when you get home and vegging in front of the TV. And I like to have something that keeps me going and motivates me to create stuff. And of course, as always, be sure to subscribe and follow, and go and check out the TeamxGFO page. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you just really enjoyed it. So I'll see you guys later.